Imagine you are the pilot of one of the most technologically advanced fighter jets in the world, the F-22 Raptor. And you are carrying out a routine training flight in completely calm conditions with a clear sky, perfect visibility, and nothing indicating any trouble until your radar suddenly begins to show strange contacts that at first seem like interference, but within seconds it becomes clear they are real targets, simply behaving in a completely illogical way. You try to contact the controller, but all you hear in response is silence. Then the GPS signal drops out, and all systems begin to lag, as if you've slipped outside of normal space. And right in front of you, a strange distortion appears in the sky, which you pass through before you even have time to react. When the systems return to normal, you immediately realize that you've ended up in a completely different reality, because there isn't a single modern signal on the radar. Instead, dozens of slow-moving targets are being detected all around you, and upon visual contact, it becomes clear. These are propeller-driven fighter planes from World War II. For a few seconds, they simply circle at a distance, clearly not understanding what they're seeing because your aircraft appears to them as something impossible. And it shows in their behavior. They don't attack right away, instead trying to examine you like an unknown object. If you imagine their reaction, then for pilots in 1941, you're not just an enemy, but something that shouldn't exist at all. You have no propeller, no familiar engine sound, your aircraft moves far too fast and too smoothly, and at some point, one of them finally dares to come closer, as if trying to make sure it isn't an illusion. And at that exact moment, you realize you can't wait any longer. You lock onto the target and fire, and the missile destroys the aircraft at a distance they can't even comprehend, because the explosion happens before the pilot has time to realize he's been attacked. After that, panic erupts in the sky. Some of the aircraft break off sharply, others dive down trying to escape, while a few head straight towards you, as if thinking this is some kind of new weapon or even a flying machine from the future. And in their actions, you can sense not only aggression, but fear as well. Some pilots clearly lose control, trying to maneuver as if they're dealing with a conventional aircraft, but your speed and flight paths are simply unpredictable to them. You take advantage of your superiority and begin eliminating targets from a distance using missiles, and several aircraft disappear one after another, having no chance to respond. But at some point, the situation changes dramatically. One of the aircraft explodes too close, and fragments fly past you. Then a warning lights up on the panel indicating damage to one of the sensors. And for a split second, you lose part of your target information. This is the first moment when it becomes truly dangerous. You regain control, but now you understand that even with a massive technological advantage, you're still in a situation where a single mistake could cost far too much. The World War II pilots begin to act more aggressively, and several aircraft simultaneously try to get on your tail, closing the distance to a dangerous range. You lose visual contact for a moment, and when you regain it, you see that 3 aircraft have already nearly taken up advantageous positions. You engage afterburners at the last moment, barely breaking away from the attack, and it no longer looks like easy domination. This is the point where hesitation could have resulted in a hit. You continue the fight, but your ammunition is rapidly running low, and you realize you have critically few missiles left. Now you have to switch to the cannon. And this is where the tension rises even higher. The distance closes, and at one point you hear a sharp odor against the fuselage. One of the 12.7 mm rounds grazes the airframe. It doesn't cause critical damage, but the sound is so loud and sudden that it throws you off for a split second. Now it's no longer a one-sided attack. This is a real fight. You maneuver at the limit, using thrust and control to evade incoming attacks, and continue taking out targets. But each new engagement becomes harder, because there are still so many of them. You shoot down several more aircraft, but realize their numbers aren't decreasing fast enough, while your fuel is already at a critical level. Fuel becomes the main limiting factor. You glance at the indicator and realize you only have a few minutes of active flight left. Continuing the fight until the enemy is completely destroyed is no longer possible. You make the decision to disengage. You accelerate, punch through their formation at maximum speed, delivering a few more strikes, and climb upward, beyond the reach of anything they can do to you. The remaining aircraft don't even attempt to pursue you for long because the speed difference becomes far too obvious. To them, you disappear just as suddenly as you appeared, But the fight didn't end because you destroyed them all, but because you can no longer continue it. You are left alone in 1941, without communication, without navigation, and with nearly empty fuel tanks. You descend, searching for a place to land, and eventually make an emergency landing far from any known locations, realizing that now the main goal is no longer to win, but to survive. And at that moment, it becomes clear that even absolute superiority doesn't make you invulnerable, because alone, without resources and without support, you are still limited. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. Bye, everyone!